Okay, this exercise is extremely simple. It is again asking you to bring your attention to your natural breath and to start to make the unconscious conscious. Even though this is a simple practice, it is very powerful to start to train our minds to pay more attention and to pay attention with our senses, not just with the mind, although we will be employing the mind here as well. So for this exercise, you could lie down, but it would be even better if you were standing or seated in a chair, or you could sit on the floor or propped up in any comfortable seated position so that you have access to the full back and front and both sides of your torso. Keep your chest open. Try to keep your neck in line with the rest of your spine. Now just begin to notice your breath. For right now, there should be no attempt to change your breath. Just begin to notice your natural breathing. If you are used to moving right into Ujjayi breath, I'm going to challenge you to not take Ujjayi breath right now and to simply notice how you breathe naturally and normally, unconsciously and automatically. So when you're inhaling, do you notice if your body expands or contracts as you inhale? Do you feel like your body gets more open as you inhale? Or do you feel like you are actually creating less space on your inhale? On your exhale, are you contracting, or do you find that you are sinking? Do you notice as you inhale that you grow taller, or that you kind of cave in? Or does this happen on your exhale? On your exhale, do you grow any taller? Or do you fold down? So check that out for a moment. Which side of the breath do you find that the body feels like it is expanding, and which side feels like it is drawing in? Without trying to change that, just notice it. And now notice, are you breathing into the front of your body more or into the back of your body more? Do you feel the inhale move to the front and to the back evenly and equally? Or do you feel that the breath is only moving to the front of your body? Or only to the back of your body? And you may even want to write this down, right, as you become more aware of it. So again, the first one, which side of the breath do you find you have more space? Are you expanding on your inhale or your exhale? Are you collapsing on your inhale or exhale? Are you contracting more on your inhale or your exhale? And do you grow taller on your inhale or exhale? And then the second observation is, do you breathe more to the back or to the front of your torso? Or do you breathe evenly and equally to the front and the back? And now begin to look at your torso as divided into 4 parts. Your pelvis, your pelvic cavity, your abdominal cavity, your lower thoracic cavity, and your upper thoracic cavity. And as you take your inhale, do you notice if the breath moves into all 4 of these quadrants evenly and equally? Or do you notice that the breath is only in 1 or 2 of those 4 parts? Which 4 of these parts do you feel your breath happening? Pelvis, And again, you can even break that down more, front or back or both. Belly, front or back, or both. Your floating ribs, the front or back or both. And your chest and your upper back. Do you breathe only to your chest or only to your upper back? Or do you breathe to both evenly and equally? And again, you may want to just jot that down. And now look at the left side and the right side of your rib cage. And even down into the left side and the right side of the belly and the pelvis and the chest. And as you continue your natural, normal, automatic breath, do you notice if you're breathing more to the left or to the right? Do you feel like there's more room on one side than there is on the other? Do you feel like there's an easier access to the left side or to the right side? Or do you feel like you can evenly and equally breathe to both sides? Do you feel like the right side or the left side of your ribs are expanding more or less? Which side expands more, which side expands less? Do you feel your rib cage expanding to the sides of your body at all? And then finally, again, you may want to jot all of that down. Now finally look at your body as though your torso, right? From your sit bones all the way up to the collarbones. Look at this as a vessel. And think of this vessel, you could think of it as like a kind of a square or a cylinder. Maybe a cylinder makes more sense. And now as you think of this as a cylinder that you're filling up from the base of the pelvis, the pelvic floor, the base of the pelvis, all the way up to even the glottis and epiglottis, right? Where the throat, all the way up to the throat. You think about that as your vessel. Can you begin to think of the inhale as something that fills up this vessel from the pelvic floor, from the sit bones, from the tailbone, all the way up to the collarbone, your throat, the tops of your shoulders. And can you fill this cylinder? And the cylinder is expansive and malleable, so that as you inhale, the cylinder expands. How successful are you at being able to fill up this container from the bottom to the top, like you're pouring your breath into that cylinder, filling up, of course, the base of that cylinder first. And as you do so, as you fill up the base of the cylinder and then keep filling it up so that you're pouring it all the way up to the collarbone, this cup is full, this vessel is full. How easy was that, or how difficult, how challenging is that for you? And as you exhale and think of pouring all of the air out of that vessel, when you tip a vessel, right, the top of the vessel is going to pour out first, but there'll be an activity down at the lower part of the vessel, right, to get that liquid to pour out. Can you find a deeper contraction that will move all of that breath, all of that liquid breath out of this vessel to empty it out completely? How challenging is it for you to feel like you can actually completely empty out? And you may want to jot that down. On your next inhale, continue to try to fill the vessel. And notice what has to happen when you attempt to fill that vessel up. What happens to your body? Does it expand more? Do you pull your ribs open more? Do you get a little taller? Does the chest inflate? Does your back body expand? And when you attempt to empty the vessel, where do you feel that? How do you feel that? What muscles engage to help you move all the breath out, as though you're tipping the vessel and pouring out all of that liquid breath out of this cylinder? How does that feel? Where do you feel it? And do you feel completely empty at the end of your exhalation? When you're ready to inhale again, look for how full you can get. How full can you make your body? And then on the exhale, how empty can you get your body to feel? On the next inhale, can you fill up from the bottom to the top? And on the exhale, can you empty out from the top all the way down to the bottom of that cylinder? On your next inhale, can you fill up the back and the front of the cylinder instead of filling it up as though you could only fill up one half of it? Can you fill up the back and the front of the cylinder? And on the exhale, can you empty out the back and the front of the cylinder? On your next inhale, can you expand into the right side and the left side of the cylinder, fully and completely from your hips all the way up to the armpits? And on your exhale, can you empty out? And draw both sides of that cylinder back toward the center of the cylinder as you exhale. Can you empty out evenly and equally from the left side and the right side? Take as many breaths as you would like to here and continue to just notice your natural breath. And maybe even continue to write things down that you notice. Notice what's happening in the shoulders. Do the shoulders hunch up around your ears as you try to inhale? Does your neck get tight as you try to inhale? What else do you notice? Does your jaw start to clench on the exhale? These are all things that I have noticed about myself and other people breathing. You may notice other things. So for the next 2 or 3 minutes, simply watch your own body breathing. Watch yourself breathe. Notice whatever there is to notice. Feel whatever there is to feel. And also listen to the sound of your breath. Listening to the sound of your breath will give you also a lot of information and feedback. Use your breath as your object of awareness to keep you in your body. And the next practice will be about how to balance your breath out. Thanks for joining me. Namaste.